Okay, boys and girls, now that we're familiar with the division vocabulary, we're going to go ahead and show you how to do long division using base 10 materials. So quickly, let's look over here at our question. We have 3 as our divisor, and we have 369 as our dividend. So 3 is our divisor, 369 is our dividend. You might have seen this before as 369 divided by, you know that sign, 3, okay? So that's how you might traditionally see it, but doing long division, you're going to want to set it up using this method, okay? So what is this telling us? This is telling us that we have 369 altogether, and we have to divide it evenly into 3 groups. So what's the first thing that we have to do? We have to take this dividend, 369, and build it so that we can then divide it equally into 3 groups, okay? That our divisor always tells us how many groups we're going to divide it into. So let's build the dividend first. So we have 1, 2, 3 hundredths. There's our 3 hundredths, okay? So we'll always start at the beginning. Then we want to look at our tens. So we have 6 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 9 ones. 3, 6, 9. Okay, so there's our dividend. We've built it, 369. So now we want to divide this equally into 3 separate groups. That's what our divisor is telling us. So let's just move our tens and our ones out of the way quickly here. And we'll break this up into 3 separate groups. So starting with our hundredths, we can easily do that because we know we're going to have 100 in each of those groups. That works out very nicely. So 100 in this group, 100 in this group, and 100 in this group. So that worked out very well. Then we've got to take a look at the tens. We've got 6 tens. So we bring our tens down. Okay, so we can start by putting 1 in each group. Oh, and then there's enough for 2 in each group. And we've divided, those divide up equally. What we could have also done is used our times tables, our 3 times tables, because that's our divisor. We know our 3 times tables, so we know 3 times 2 gives us 6, so we could have used that. So that would have told us automatically that we would have had 3 groups of 2. So instead of counting them out one for one. Next we're going to look at our ones. We have 9 ones. We have to divide our ones up into 3 equal groups. So again, we could go along and say, oh, well, I know there's probably enough for 2 in each group. Oh, and then there's 3 left. There's enough for 1 more in each group, and we'll have 3 in each of the groups. The same as before, we could use our times tables. We know our 3 times tables, so we could look at it and say 3 times what gets us to 9 or gets us as close to 9 as we can without going over. We know 3 times 3 is 9, so that's telling us that we're going to have 3 groups of 3 that we can divide that evenly into instead of counting them out one for one. So once we have our groups evenly divided, we're going to double check and make sure that our answer is correct. So the way we want to do that is to add all of our groups up together, and we should come up with the dividend of 369. If we don't, then we know we've made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so let's start with the hundreds. 100, 200, 300, and the tens, 310, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then our ones, 363, 366, 369. So after we've added all of our base 10 up, we know that we've got 369 altogether, so we know our answer is correct. Now, what is our answer? Well, if we look at what's in each of the groups, that's what our answer is. So what you see in one of those groups is your answer. So in each of those groups, we have 100, 10, 20, 3. 123 is our answer. That's what's going on in each group. So if we want to put our answer down onto the sheet, we have 1 in the hundredths place because we have 100. We have 2 tens, so we're going to put that in the tens place, and we have 3 ones. And that gives us our answer, or the quotient. That's what the answer is called in a division problem for our question. How many times does 3 go into 369, or 369 divided by 3?